good piece of cake with a bit of icing and some sort of garnish never seems to go to waste. We always seem to be good at making that stuff go away. But just a couple of quick things. Equipment that you're going to want if you're going to make your own cake, if you're going to make cupcakes, whatever it is. This cupcake pan, by the way, this is you bake this. You actually bake the cupcakes in this. Okay. Yeah, this is silk pad. You wouldn't find one like this in the supermarket because one this size, etc. Well, you also wouldn't want to buy it because it's wicked expensive. But but the small ones you can probably get them for $20, $30, something like that. And they're just endlessly reusable, and they're great because you can use them to actually pop out the.
Do you use a different baking time
with these, as opposed to a cake, or you mean versus a metal pan?
Versus a metal pan.
This can be a little bit longer than a metal pan because the metal pan is going to absorb the heat and convey the heat in a different way. So baking in the silk pads and the synthetic will be a little bit longer. This is now. You can use any mix you want. These are from scratch. Okay.
No, you went and you got a Duncan Hines.
Yeah, you can use a mix of any type of cake you like, or you can go online and find a good recipe. This is
chocolate.
This is chocolate. This is chocolate, and this actually has Belgian chocolate in it as well as Belgian cocoa. Now, there's different types of cocoa.
Are there real Belgians in that?
Very small ones. And to be fair, they're both Flemish and Walloon. Okay. So there you go. So a couple of things you're going to want to have. This you might not tend to have around on your own. This is
I got tons of those lying around.
There are different types of piping bags that
you mean a hat?
like to bake a lot, like to do cake. It's a good thing to have a piping bag around. One that's this big, and also the ones that are made in Germany, they're better. They're more durable. You don't necessarily need to have this quality of a bag around, but what you can get these days, and this is a larger format than what you would tend to find in the store, but you can probably find these at Bulk Barn. This is a roll of piping bag. Okay, and
what's the difference between piping bag and regular bag?
That's a triangle.
This is for piping. Okay, it is.
Because I feel like you could use a Ziploc bag and just.
That's not for your recycling bin.
No, you can't, because the whole thing is you need to be able to fill this, okay, to whatever extent you require. Twist it up. You're going to cut the end of this. You're going to put a tip into it. Okay, you could technically use a Ziploc bag, but the problem is that because it is square, right? You're going to have to contort the bag in order to really get the force proper, and you're going to end up losing a lot in the folds, etc. This is designed, okay, for this. And you can get smaller ones on a roll.
You
can get them at Cane's, you can get them at Bulk Barn, whatever. All of these I got at Bulk Barn, okay. These are all under the COR Hashgacha, okay. So it's good. Just be aware to check the bins. Okay, not everything is marked with the COR. Some of them are not. The sugars are not, but if you ask them, they'll show you the bag that it came out of. Okay, you got to make sure that it's not dairy, because a lot of the chocolate products, even though it's dark chocolate, it can still be dairy because it can be dairy equipment, whatever it is. Also, the chips are almost always dairy. Okay, whereas the block, like I buy a block, a 5 kilo block, it's parf. Okay, so what we have here? There's some different colored sugars: toasted coconut, rainbow coconut. This is black sugar. Okay,
what's
these
black
are
sugar?
It's sugar basically, just with a pigment that's been added to color. The same as all of these. They're all based on sucrose.
I thought these were grew like that color.
These are actually chocolate. These are actually little chocolate balls, and they've got a coating on them. These guys here, these are called Raggies, and these are sugar candies.
I was really surprised that they were edible.
Yeah, they're edible. They're silver. They're commonly used in like on wedding cakes and that sort of thing, but you can't use them in pastries. Expensive. This little container here, that was like $9.
Okay, guys,
they're
only
expensive,
use this.
but
Make the most expensive
also
cupcake.
there are different types of sprinkles you can get now. Or not sprinkles, sorry, sparkles. Okay, I didn't want to get sprinkles because everybody can get sprinkles, but these are newer products. So here's purple and pink sparkles. And last but not least, you're not going to find this in the store, but like somebody who calls up and orders stuff for me, this is 24 karat gold. And so I had a little bit. I had it a little bit lying around, so I brought it. And you guys can, you can put that on your.
We're gonna eat gold.
Completely edible. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'd rather just.
I have one particular
Make a necklace out of that.
I have one particular customer and client, and she will regularly order, different things from me. And one of her favorite items is a Belgian chocolate truffle tort, and it is completely covered in 24 karat gold. So
She probably doesn't live in Thornhill.
How much do you think like that?
Yeah, I didn't think so.
that tort, if I were to make one, probably $80, something like that.
So $80, even though the entire top is covered in shaved gold.
Not shaped. These are
It's
leaves
really thin,
of 24
okay?
karat gold. Yeah, it's foil.
Help me so much.
It's actual gold foil. Okay. I don't know what that
Would
would
you
go
just
for
like
retail.
down that?
I've never seen anybody sell it retail. I get it from my suppliers. So okay, so there are two icings here. There are two icings here that I'm going to get you guys to work with to decorate your own cupcake. Okay, and what you can do if anybody wants, I'm going to load a piping bag. I'm going to show you how to put in a tip, and I bought some extra tips. You guys should take them home. All you do is you basically just cut a loch. That might be a little bit too big, but if it is, I'll show you a trick of what you do. Because you use different types of tips. So basically, you just take this and insert it.
That's a good tip.
Yeah, that's right.
That was a good one.
Okay, now, what we do, if we cut the hole a little too large, if we cut the hole a little too large, typically when you buy a set of tips, you get different sizes, okay? So if you cut the hole a little too big, there's nothing wrong with taking the smaller one, drop it into the bigger one, and then put it into the back, okay? So you can do that as well. Okay, so there's extra tips there you guys can take home. So, proper way to fill a piping bag. First of all, a piping bag should never be filled more than halfway. And one of the things for sure that I'll tell you about piping bags, and I stressed this to the students when I was teaching at George Brown, is that a piping bag should never be messy. Okay? You should always be in control of what you're working with. So, you fold it down, put your hand in there, it's like one of those little, I don't know, those games, those little triangular games you fold a piece of paper with. Okay, this is like a standard sort of buttercream. This is the type of icing that I don't make when I do pastries, because I'm also a pastry chef. But Parv, a lot of people are saying to me, well, I need a cake for my whatever, and the budget for my cake is about $1.50 per person. And that's the point where I say to them, okay, Sobeys is just and it's fine, there's nothing wrong with it, no shame, but it's not my bag, no pun intended. But that said, this is a Parv buttercream, and you're going to find that the sugar in it is grainy. Okay, I did this on purpose. The sugar in it is grainy, and also the texture, well, I mean, it's margarine, right? But the reason I did this is because this is your Parv buttercream. This, this is a sort of standard buttercream where people just take margarine and they whip it up and they put the sugar in. This is a French buttercream. So what that means is it starts with a French meringue, which is egg whites that are whipped, and you take a sugar syrup, and you boil it to a specific temperature, this being 248 degrees, and then it is streamed very slowly into the egg whites. Basically, that cooks the egg whites very slowly while it's whipping, and you whip it until it comes to room temperature. So this one is ready to go, and I'll just, this poor soul here. So, okay.
Yeah, guys, no problem. I mean, you can do that, right?
Okay. Yeah, it takes a bit of practice. Now, so this I'm going to put out here, and you guys are free to try that. But I'm also going to load a bag with the French buttercream, and this one has a raspberry puree in it. So the raspberry puree, I took my own raspberries, checked them, cooked them, a little bit of sugar and a tiny bit of water, simmered them for about 8 minutes, and then pureed it up, and then passed it very finely through a strainer to remove the seeds. Okay.
Rabbi, halakhic question. If you're pureeing the raspberry anyways, why do you need to check it? Because if there are any bugs in it, it would be crushed and then be okay, right?
I thought.
You're right, you don't have to, but here's the thing. For me, eating a bug is disgusting. But the other thing too is, you'll find frequently in your raspberries, some are moldy, some of them have leaves in there, and you just, you don't want it, you know?
He's a purist more than a halachic.
Call it that. Call it that. Okay.
Gold.
So this is, and there are different types of buttercreams because there are different types of meringues. You get an Italian meringue, a Swiss meringue, a French meringue. So, for example, the Italian meringue, you cook up, or French meringue, you cook up the sugar syrup, and then you stream it into the egg whites. A Swiss meringue, you would actually take your egg whites with the sugar in a stainless steel bowl and over a bain-marie, like over a boiling pot of water, and you would heat your egg whites and sugar mixture to a certain temperature, and then you just put that into a bowl and whip it. So the majority of us wouldn't be inclined to do that sort of level of pashka, but just so you're aware of what's out there, because a lot of people, you know, especially if you're going to be getting married, and you need to ask about wedding cakes, etc., you need to be educated on, okay, why are these things expensive? Why do they cost? What's the difference between this, you know, a buttercream icing versus a fondant, etc., right? It all comes down to the label.
And wait, so what is the difference between buttercream and fondant?
So a fondant, anybody here had petit fours? Little cakes that have the glaze on them, right? That's a poured fondant, but then there's a different type of fondant that is rolled. It's an icing that you actually roll. And you can model it, you can do different things with it. A lot more costly to work with that.
If I put it back, I could do it.
You know what? The fondant isn't so bad. Gum paste and royal icing don't taste great. Fondant is not that bad. Okay, so here I'll take another ugly duckling, and you'll see the difference. This one is a lot smoother. Okay, it's a lot smoother. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give these things to all of you. I'm going to give these to all of you, and you can basically take and pipe on, or you can just spoon on a little bit of icing. Okay, and then use whatever you like to garnish. The gold, the only thing I can tell you about the gold is it is highly attracted to, it's, you know, because of electrostatic energy, it'll be attracted to your fingers, etc. So the best thing to do is to use the bottom end of a spoon or something to just put a couple sprinkles on if you so desire. The gold? No, not too quite. It's fine. I had some kicking around. It's
Make a ring. Make a ring.
yeah.
When you're done with that, please let me.
So the big thing, Eliana, the big thing with the piping bag, you see, grab it from the top. Grab it from the top. You see there, and twist it up nice and tight the way I had it.
Other way.
Twist it up really nice and tight the way I had it. And that way when you squeeze, there you go. Tighten it up, tighten it up, tighten it up, and when you squeeze, it'll be a lot easier for it to come out.
I don't think I'll be able to do this.
Here you go. Somebody wants to spin that one out. There you go. Sparkles. Dig in, guys. Don't be shy.
Stop.
Put it on the plate. You'll decorate both of them. That's mine. You'll decorate both. Okay.
Oh, it's not done yet.
All right, pass it over when you're done.
No, you should eat it. What you should do is get yourself a ladle. Okay, like a 4-ounce ladle. You have to figure out what the volume that you require.
Well, the thing is, I wanted to try.
I love watching all these like guys.
No, I want to be able to do the different icing. I'm gonna ice the other one with the cheaper icing because I wanted to see the difference.
Yeah, when you pour it, it's a real mess. No, you got nailed. What? Where? The other side of you.
Not very beautiful.
What happened? No, I know, I see it. What happened? My question.
I don't know, maybe,
You have to put pressure with your right hand.
That's what I'm doing.
All right.
Yeah, I know. I'm just not very artistic. It's okay.
Come on.
Yeah, as long as it tastes good.
It's not bad. You guys take it to the clean.
Okay, great.
She's good at this.
So the trick with the piping bag is, the trick with the piping bag is grab it from up top and twist it so that it's nice and tight. You get tension in there.
It smells lovely now, though.
Sure.
Wait, no, are you doing half and half?
Yeah, I want to be able to taste the difference. They said this one's grainy and this one's smoother.